Well, a very warm welcome to this month's edition of our Market Wrap. My name's Simon Pintado from the Buxton Real Estate Group, and the month of May really has been one that has been absolutely amazing in terms of real estate confidence, as well as prices being paid for particular properties. So let's give you a bit of an indication as to what's taken place in both the 3204 and the 3165 postcodes. Well, we really are in a boom market. As I'm sure you've been watching on the news and reading in the papers and things like that, the clearance rates for auctions over Melbourne have been absolutely phenomenal. And with Buxton Bentleigh actually achieving an 81% average of our clearance rate actually for the month of May, that is certainly a boom time, or what we would consider a very, very hot market, and definitely one that is a seller's market as well. We also had 2 weekends in the month of May where we actually had a 100% clearance rate as well. Second time for the year that that's actually happened. I think a lot of the reason why that's actually taking place is the stock levels, as I mentioned in the last video, are a lot lower than what they have been typically for this time of the year. And also the high-end market, be it $1.5 million plus, is certainly booming along quite well as the off-market sales, which normally is a bit of an indication that the market itself is quite buoyant and quite strong. I think part of the reason as to why this is, obviously as predicted in the last video as well, auction clearance rates were really high, but that wasn't what I was supposed to be saying. Interest rates were dropped to 2%, which I think has certainly given a little bit of a kick up the bum in the market at the moment, giving buyers a lot of confidence and also giving vendors a lot of confidence that now is certainly the time to be putting your property on the market as well. To give you a bit of an indication in terms of the activity towards the top end of the market in the Bentleigh, Ormond, McKinnon and East Bentleigh marketplaces, here are some really top end results that we've had over the last month. One was number 10 Wheatley Road in Ormond, which we sold last weekend. It actually sold for 1.95 million. It was a massive result considering that the vendor of that property bought that property 2 years ago for $950, spent $250,000 on a renovation, and has obviously sold that property in excess of $1.95 million, which is massive money obviously for Wheatley Road to a main road, which is great obviously in the McKinnon school zone as well. Another really good result that I had, number 45 Studley Road in East Brighton. That was the block of land facing Dendy Park, quite a rare opportunity for particular purchases, and it was quite a hotly contested auction as well. Reserve on the day was 1.4 million and it sold in excess of $1.71 million, so massive money. That property is actually going to be bulldozed. They're going to be building townhouses on that block. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that we have the opportunity to market and sell those down the track as well. But that went to a lovely, obviously an Asian investor as well, which is something that's very topical at the moment in the marketplace as well. In the news, in the newspapers and all of that sort of stuff. Definitely something that's a strong bone of contention in the marketplace at the moment as well. The last result that we had was number 9 Prince Edward Avenue in Ormond, in McKinnon, sorry, I should say. 722 square metres, pretty as a pin California bungalow, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and that sold for $1.795 million, which is just a touch under $1.8 million, but we certainly do have market share in that upper end market, north of $1.5 million. And as I said, I suppose in the last couple of videos too, that upper end market north of $1.5 million is no longer something that's a rarity in the Bentleigh, Ormond, McKinnon area. In fact, we're almost achieving results like that every weekend. But 2 big results that were off market, which you won't have heard about, you won't have seen aboard. I sold 2 blocks in Bentleigh. I can't actually give out the street address, but there were 2 blocks side by side, a total of 1,400 square metres, sold for $4.4 million in that growth zone that I mentioned in the last video as well. Massive money again, but it's certainly going to be one that is going to be developed into apartments down the track. Something as a homeowner in the Bentleigh, Ormond, McKinnon area, particularly in the McKinnon school zone. 2 things to note. One, the McKinnon Secondary College actually just received a $9 million grant from the government to improve their facilities, which is fantastic for those of you who have children at the school or perhaps looking to get your kids into the school as well. That's fantastic for you. It's only going to give more confidence to purchasers looking to secure a home in the already hotly contested McKinnon school zone. Also, Bentleigh Secondary received a $9.2 million grant from the government, so plenty of government investment into this little location, which again gives you some confidence as a homeowner, but also a potential purchaser in this location, that if the government and also foreign investors are investing into this location, then that certainly is one that should give you some confidence, obviously for your capital growth into the future, but also means that you are buying into an area that is certainly well sought after. Well, that wraps up this month's edition of our Market Wrap. In terms of listing and selling into the future, the month of June seems to be much like May, where there's not going to be a tremendous amount of stock on the market. July typically is one that's going to be very, very quiet in terms of real estate. A lot of agents go away over to warmer climates, obviously, and the real estate market certainly does die down just a little bit. So if you are looking to potentially put your property on the market in the next 2, 3, 4 months, August is certainly the next prime period where you might be wanting to auction your property, or even a private sale for that matter. Please don't hesitate to give me a call. I'd be delighted to hear from you. And thanks again for watching this month's edition of our Market Wrap. Have a great day.